Hi guys! Right now we are going to talk about multiplication, and we are going to do 4 different strategies that we do here, and I'm going to use the same numbers and I'm just going to show you all 4 different ways. And so if you are interested in multiplication strategies, then keep watching. So the first strategy that we are going to do today is going to be equal groups. And that's when a lot of parents are always like, why is my kid doing lines and squares and circles, and I just don't understand why they're adding it that way or why they are multiplying it that way. And so I have some base 10 blocks that I'm going to show you, and I'm also going to do it on the board the way that you would see it on paper. So if we were just doing a simple 4 times 8, and so we talk about what is the most efficient, which doesn't always mean what's the fastest, but it means what's the best way that I can get to my answer accurately, keeping in mind time, but we want them to make sure that rushing and going fast isn't the goal. And so it would make more sense for me to do 4 groups of 8 rather than 8 groups of 4, but either would work. And so I'm going to show you this strategy, and this is called equal groups, and that's to say that we are going to make 4 equal groups of 8. And so I'm going to make 4 equal groups, and I'm going to now draw 8. So if you remember from the other videos, we can use base 10 blocks to represent this, and if you are just now watching and this is your first video, each one dot represents 1. When I do the rod, it represents 10. My flat represents 100. And then a cube represents 1,000. And so I'm going to show you how we would continue on with this. So we have 8 so far, and I would want to make 8 again. And so now I've made 4 groups of 8. Now I'm just going to add them all up and see what I get. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. My answer is 32. If you notice, I did not want to just do dots, so I didn't want to just do something like that. Even though if they do that and they're okay with it, we're fine with that, but we just want to make sure that we encourage that it's not just a dot thing and any mark on the paper can confuse them. So organization is something that we talk about and we encourage, and we'd love your support in that area as well. And so we can do it this way. I'm going to show you one other way that we can do it. If your child is ready, we push them to just write that number. And that's also considered equal groups, and so we are just adding 8 4 times, but using equal groups so that they see that it's 4 equal groups of 8. And so this is, again, they can add it halfway and then add 16 and add that to 32, or they can just keep going and add to 32. That's equal groups. Right now I'm going to show you repeated addition. And that's going to be our second strategy. That's when we are going to talk about, let's just use 4 times 8 again. Well, this is saying that we're going to add 8 4 times. And so I could do it both ways, and I'm going to show you both ways. So I could add 4 8 times. Another tip that we can use is we can just actually have 8 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. and make sure that we write 4 on each, and that's going to help our students not lose track of how many they have added so far. And so now I'm just going to add them all up. Let me just make sure I have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to now add them. So 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. And then we can start combining them. You'll be surprised that when they're ready to just move on, and they'll surprise you with saying, oh, that's 32 right away. But if they need those steps, then we let them have it. And the reason is, yes, we want them to just know what 4 times 8 is. We're not saying they don't need to have that information, but we want to make sure that if they forget it, or if they need that deeper meaning of to why 32 is my answer, why is it 32, we can show them why it is 32 by trusting that number and building that trust with the numbers and showing them that that's because you've added 4 8 times. That's what 4 times 8 means. And of course you can do it using the 8. So 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. And that's again 16 plus 16 equals 32. Okay, I have one other way that I want to show you guys how to do it. I want to show you now what we call our array. And array is coming from just having equal groups in rows and columns. So if we are doing 4 times 8, we are going to make 4 rows, and we are going to put 8 in each row. 6, 7, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll get to the point where students are able to recognize that that's 4, 4, 4, 4, 8 times, or 4 8s this way. And of course our total is also 32 once they add all of their circles. And this is the array model, because we've created an array of 4 times 8. My last strategy that we use here for multiplication is going to be number lines. And that's when we get to draw a number line, and then we use the number line to make those jumps to represent 4 times 8. So I'm going to just jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So on and so forth. And so now we're going to make 4 jumps of 8, or we can do 8 jumps of 4. Depending on where the student is, I'm going to show you 8 jumps of 4. So I'm going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a jump. So that is going to be my first 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my other jump of 4. So we're going to keep making those little jumps. This is very similar to repeated addition. We are just adding using the number line. And so now we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Which, if you notice, we are now at 12, which is what 4 times 3 is, because we're making those jumps. So now we're going to keep going. 1. Some students like to just add 1 at a time and then make that big jump over it. It's absolutely fine. There are so many different ways that you can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then they want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I've gotten to my final answer of 32. And this is you adding all the different 4s. I'm going to show you with a different color what it would be like if we added 4 jumps of 8. So I'm going to find my 8, and I'm going to make my first jump, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm at 24, which is what 8 times 3 is, just to make sure that you stay on track with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm at my final answer of 32, and that's what that final 8 will be. See, I added 8 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is multiplication using number lines.